everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is my channel Secret Life of a Seamstress, where I love to talk all about sewing and making clothes with some other crafts thrown in sometimes as well, like knitting and crochet. Thanks for joining me again today and I hope you're all doing really well. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips for creating a more intentional handmade wardrobe. So as you all know, if you followed me for a little while, this is something that I've been on a little bit of a journey with over the last couple of years. I have been sewing for quite some time now, probably around 5 or 6 years, I think. And in that time I have learned quite a few different lessons about my style, what I like to wear, things that suit me, things that don't. So I thought I would share with you today the 5 main things that I've learned on my sewing journey, which have helped and which are helping me to be more intentional with my own sewing. So I do just want to say that I am definitely still on a journey with this. I'm not sure it'll ever end, to be honest. I think the more you make, the more you sew, the more you wear, the more you learn about you know, who you are, what suits you and what you want to make and what you want to wear. I think it's just an ongoing thing. But yeah, for today I'm just going to be sharing with you the 5 main things that I've learned, I think, over the last few years, which are really helping me to be more intentional with what I'm making and what I'm sewing and what I'm bringing into my wardrobe. So I really hope that you'll enjoy today's video. So before I get started, as always, I will just quickly share with you what I'm wearing. Today I am again wearing my Marni blouse by Tilly and the Buttons. This is a recent make and it's one that I absolutely love. So the Marni blouse by Tilly and the Buttons, if you've not seen it, is a kind of peasant style blouse and dress, I guess. There are lots of different variations that you can make. It has a lovely yoke detail here. You can make it as a blouse or a dress, but the main sort of feature of the dress is that it has this lovely yoke panel here and also on the back as well. You can make it with a nice ruffle to the neckline. You can also make ruffle sleeves as well. For my version today, I've gone quite plain and I've just made the pin tucks at the front. So these are actually optional. You can make a yoke without any of these pin tucks and just have it plain. I absolutely love the pin tucks and they were what drew me to the pattern in the first place, so I had to give those a go. So I've got the pin tucks here on the yoke of the blouse and also on the sleeves as well, and you can see that the sleeves are sewn in 2 parts. And the bottom of the sleeve is just lovely and poofy and gathered, and I just love this blouse so much. I sew mine from a lovely solid viscose fabric from Minerva. It's one of their exclusive viscoses and it's just lovely and drapey and very reasonably priced as well. So I will link that fabric down below and the pattern if you're interested and want to pop over for more information. So without any further ado, let's get into my top 5 tips for sewing an intentional handmade wardrobe. So I think there are loads of different reasons why we might want to think about how to sew a more intentional wardrobe. It could be to save money so that you stop wasting money on fabrics and patterns and things that you just end up not wearing. It might be to stop you feeling so overwhelmed. That's what it was for me actually. I used to go to my wardrobe and just feel so overwhelmed by the amount of clothes that were in there that I didn't even particularly want to wear. I think I had a wardrobe full of clothes and I used to reach for the same things like pretty much every day. So yeah, for me it was overwhelm. I hate to have too many clothes or too much stuff in general. So for me, I really just wanted to sort of narrow down and minimize my wardrobe so that I could just go in and see things that I wanted to wear every day and that I knew would go with other things. And it could be also for environmental reasons, so to stop wasting so much fabric, to help with landfill and all of that kind of stuff as well. So lots of different reasons, lots of different whys as to why we might want to build a more intentional handmade wardrobe. So I think the first thing that you need to think about when you're thinking along these lines is to consider your lifestyle. When I started to sew, I made an awful lot of dresses. I love vintage style. I really do love vintage style. So I wanted to sort of sew a lot of these, sew over it vintage style dresses, which was absolutely fine at first. But what I found was I was making all these dresses and I just wasn't wearing them because at the time I had 2 very small children. I had a dog that needed walking. It just didn't fit into my lifestyle to wear these lovely dresses day to day. So even though they were probably good practice for my sewing journey, they weren't fitting into my lifestyle. So I think it's really important to consider your lifestyle, think about what you do for work. Do you work in an office where you do actually need a wardrobe full of smart clothes, or do you work at home where more often than not you're actually wearing comfy casual things and things that you can sort of be comfortable and cozy in? That's the case for me as well. I definitely don't go out to an office, but I do work at home. I want to be comfy and cozy, but I also want to look reasonably put together as well. I think one of the most important things that you need to consider when you're thinking about your next make is whether you will wear it, what you will wear it to, how you will wear it, and how it will fit into your lifestyle. So that's point number one, consider your lifestyle. Point number two is to consider what you already have in your wardrobe that you're reaching for and that you already or always love to wear. So for all of us, I think there's always that few things or few different items in your wardrobe that you just want to reach for day to day. If it's cold in the morning, you want to get up and you want to put that thing on because it feels really nice and cozy. Or maybe it's like a dress or something that just makes you feel really good when you put it on. I think a really good thing to think about and consider is why you always reach for those particular items. So is it maybe the colour of the garment? Do you think it really suits you? Do you really like that colour? Does that colour make you feel happy? Maybe you're someone who loves bright colours, so when you wear that really bright jumper or dress or something, it just makes you feel really happy. Is it the type of fabric? So is it the kind of fabric that you just feel comfortable in? Does it make you feel really cozy? And maybe it makes you feel as if you're wearing something nice and luxurious. I know for me, as I'm beginning to invest in more quality fabrics, I'm definitely much more enjoying wearing those fabrics. So I think really have a good think about the things that you already wear and why you like to wear them. Have you received a lot of compliments when you do wear that garment perhaps? And once you've kind of got those garments in mind, think about why it is that you love those garments, as I've already said, but also think about then how you can sort of replicate those garments and make similar things for your wardrobe. So if it is the colour, think about maybe other garments that you can make in a similar sort of colour palette, something that's going to make you feel good and that you know suits you. So for me, I really like the colour that I've got on. I think it suits my skin tone really well. I'm quite pale generally, and I think these kind of warmer colours tend to suit me better than really stark whites and things like that. So for me, I'm always sort of on the lookout for this kind of colour palette, so beiges, creams, warm pinks and things like that. So you might be someone that loves to wear bright colours, as I say. So if you're someone that really likes to wear neon colours, then think about maybe introducing more of those colours into your wardrobe so that you can have a nice, happy, colourful wardrobe that you just feel good when you come to get dressed in the morning. Likewise, if you think it's the type of fabric that's really drawing you to that item, then think about the kind of fabric that it is and what you can make that kind of uses those sort of similar fabrics. So if it's a really cozy jumper dress or something like that, then consider buying and making more items in those fabrics so that you can get up in the morning and really want to wear those nice comfy garments. Sometimes it can be the cut or the style of an outfit as well, or a garment that makes you feel really good. I think it's a good idea as well to look at similar designers. So for me, Megan Nielsen patterns in general do tend to fit me really nicely. So I think if you've got a dress or something that you've made from a certain pattern designer and you find that it just fits you really well straight out of the packet, then definitely consider trying other patterns from that same designer, because often they'll use the same block, I think. And often you'll find that that sort of designer, the sizes or the block that they use just tends to fit you really well. So definitely consider doing that too. I know for me as well that fabric has been a really big thing on my sewing journey. It's taken me quite a while to really understand the kind of fabrics that I actually like to wear. I was very drawn at the beginning of my sewing journey just to prints, and I wouldn't necessarily look at the composition of the fabric. So the result of that really was that I ended up with quite a few garments in my wardrobe that I maybe liked the look of but just didn't feel comfortable wearing. So tip number 3 is to know your colours. So this is a bit of a journey, I think, and it's often about trial and error. So obviously you can actually pay like a colour analyst, I think. I've never had this done myself. I think it would be really interesting to have done though. It's definitely something that I'm going to consider having done in the future, just to see if the colours that I think suit me actually are the colours that they would recommend. It would be really interesting to know. But anyway, of course, you can pay someone to analyse the kind of colours that suit you professionally. I don't know how they do it, but I guess they construct some sort of experiments to see what suits you and suits your skin tone and your hair colour and all of that kind of thing. For me, I think it's definitely been trial and error and sort of making things and seeing what suits me, seeing what other people think suits me. But I think one of the biggest things about sort of getting to know what colours really suit me and what I like to wear is having to see myself on camera and on film. So I think that is a really good thing to try. So if you have a colour or a make or something and you're not sure if it suits you, consider taking photos of yourself in that garment. You don't have to share them on anything, you don't have to show anyone else, just take a quick snap on your phone, have a look at it, see what you think about the colour and whether it suits you or not. And that is a really good way to sort of find out what you think works well on you. I would definitely say make sure you take the photos in daylight rather than electric light or anything too harsh, because daylight is always going to be the most natural light and it's going to be what most people see you in, obviously. Tip number 4 for sewing an intentional handmade wardrobe is to consider what you already have, again, that you wear loads. So it might not necessarily be a handmade item. It might be a ready-to-wear jumper that you just absolutely love, something that's really special, like a cashmere jumper or something like that, that you want to wear all the time. And think about what you can sew that will make that already loved garment work harder in your wardrobe. So if it is a sweater or something like that you normally wear with jeans, think about something else that you could make that you could wear with that beloved sweater. So for example, like a midi skirt in a nice floral patterned viscose or something like that. You could wear that with that same jumper and make the jumper work harder in your wardrobe. You could make some nice smart trousers to go with it, a shorter skirt that you could wear with tights and boots. I think it's all just about thinking about what you already have and what you can make that will already go with what you already have, if that makes sense. So making the garments that you already have in your wardrobe work harder. So for me, what I'm trying to work on at the moment is just being able to go to my wardrobe and know that I have a wardrobe full of things that will work together. And I think that's all part of sort of knowing your colours and knowing what colour palette you like. Then you know that you've got sort of a wardrobe full of things that you can mix and match and that will work together. But yeah, you might have a really nice high quality t-shirt, say a striped t-shirt or even just a plain white t-shirt. Think again about how you can make that work. You could wear it underneath a handmade pinafore dress that would work really nicely, or again another skirt or a nice wide-legged pair of trousers. And likewise, think about what you already have in your wardrobe that you've made, you know, that you already love to wear, and think about how you could sort of make more of that garment but do it in a different way. Think about how you can sort of mix things up like that. So if you have a really nice dress that you like to wear all the time, maybe consider making the same dress in a solid fabric instead. You already know that you love the cut of that dress. You know it fits you really well and you know that you love to wear it. So think about making it maybe in a solid colour. And I think sometimes you'd be surprised how different things look when they're made up in different fabrics. And then you can kind of build up a wardrobe that you have full of things that you know you love to wear. And because they're made of lots of different lovely fabrics, they'll look different every time. So point number 5 is to sew for yourself rather than trends. This is just such a big one really, isn't it? I think, as I say, when I started my sewing journey, Instagram was a big thing for me. I loved searching and seeing what other people were making and getting inspiration from those people as well. When I started sewing, everyone was making one of two things, it felt like. It was either a Tilly and the Buttons Freya dress, you know, with the frill around the front here, or it was a Colette Patterns Monetta dress. Both of those were jersey dresses, and I was quite new to sewing at the time. So I made up one of both of those things and I hated them both. They just didn't suit me at all. I knew really that they weren't my style. I've never liked high necks on anything, so I don't know why I ever thought the Freya dress was going to work for me. An A-line style just doesn't seem to work for me either. The Freya dress has that, so I don't really know what I was thinking. The Minetta dress, does anyone remember that dress? I think I spoke about it recently actually. It had like a boat neck almost, and then it kind of dipped at the back. So the other thing that I hate in a garment is anything that shows my back or has a dip in the back, or just doesn't come up to your neck. So yeah, again, what was I thinking making either of those things? But yeah, I followed the trends. I made both of those things and I don't think I wore either of them. But yeah, obviously I've made loads of mistakes like that in the past. Obviously, I'm not saying that Instagram is completely a bad thing. It's a brilliant thing for inspiration for you. But I think just know yourself and know what suits you and know what you are and are not going to wear, and don't fall into the trap of just sewing for trends or for what you feel as though you should be sewing. The most important thing is to sew for yourself, to make what makes you feel good and what you know you're going to want to wear. Think about why you are making this pattern, why you want to buy the latest pattern. Are you going to wear it? Is it going to fit in with what you already have in your wardrobe? And is it going to suit your own personal style? That concludes my little roundup of 5 top tips for sewing a more intentional handmade wardrobe. I really hope those tips have been helpful. I felt as though I waffled my way through them a little bit, but hopefully you will get the point of each one that I was trying to get across. Obviously, I have given those 5 tips today, but I also want to say to take them with a pinch of salt in a way, because what I've learned has all come with experience. I think if I hadn't made those mistakes in the beginning of my sewing journey, I wouldn't have learnt what I have learned now. So if you are a beginner and you're starting out in your sewing journey and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed about what you should make and what suits you and all of that, please don't worry too much about it. Just sew and have fun, and you will learn along the way what suits you and what doesn't suit you and what you want to make more of in the future. Obviously today I am talking about sort of narrowing down and being more intentional, but I do think that that's all come as a result of the sort of whole journey of sewing and making those mistakes and learning along the way. Just wanted to share the points that have helped me so far in the few years now that I have been sewing. Please do let me know in the comments if you have any tips. Let me know how you tend to consider making a more intentional handmade wardrobe as well. I'd love to know. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have enjoyed this video then please do give it a like as well. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.